Today, I'm going to be diving right into the new Legends League using my Root Rider army to answer the question, are Root Riders with the RC charge still as strong after the Spring Trap rework and the introduction of the battle modifiers? And so far, I think that they are. As you can see on my first Legends Day with the battle modifiers, I was still able to score a perfect day, which landed me at global rank number 2, as you can see, just 1 hour before the end of the Legends Day. But regardless, I do want to try and keep up this streak and see if we can go perfect for a second day. The bases, though, are going to be a lot harder because I'm very high in rank, so let's see if we can do it right now. Okay, so diving right into the first base, just to know I am doing voiceovers for this Legends Day. I wanted to really concentrate during my attacks to really give you guys the best representation of what you can expect in the new Legends League. And I find that when I do voiceovers and I don't do live commentary, I'm able to concentrate a bit more, which is why I'm doing voiceovers. But it should allow me to explain my thought process a lot more. So on these double rage ring bases, I'm always going for a fairly safe Spirit Walk. Now, as you can see, I managed to still, despite not going into any kind of rage damage or any kind of populated area at all, I still hit all of the baits, which is bonkers. You guys will see later in this video, but I really get unlucky during this Legends Day, I'm not going to lie. But regardless, I do get what I wanted out of the Spirit Walk. I'm not sure if my Fox lives. Yeah, the Fox does live, but the Fox is on really low health. So I wasn't expecting the Fox to live afterwards. Now I used the Ice Golem there to lure the CC because this guy's CC is really on the outside of the base right now. Then, of course, I'm placing down my troop launcher and making sure my Root Riders are all good. Then I'm placing in my King. Now, very important on double rage ring bases. You want your King to be able to tank half or, a partial amount of that rage damage. So do you see how it's happening here? The King is kind of tanking a couple of those Teslas, Builder Huts, Multi-Arch Towers. What you don't want to happen on these double rage ring bases is for your King to run ahead. Now, one thing that I noticed during my testing in some FCs is that you need to be super duper careful of these rage bases. As you can see, my King got completely fried there. Before, where the King had 18,000 hit points, he now just takes so much more damage. It's completely bonkers. Anyways, Mono does look onto my Queen, which kind of sucks. And yeah, as I was saying, I'm being really careful of those double rage bases because that rage damage can really quickly add up and really quickly overwhelm your troops. Now, at this point, I kind of went for the second overgrowth spell to make sure that Fire Spitter was going to be hitting me as I entered into the base, and that worked out really well. So you can see we're looking fantastic at the moment. We've got a ton of healers alive. They have a free spell, and things are looking good, right? Well, it's very deceiving because, as you guys know, later into the attack, the Warden really does just become this crazy man who just runs right into all of the damage. And as you can see, he walks right into the Ricochet Cannon. Now, why did he do that? I don't know, but you can see things are slowly starting to fizzle out here. Luckily, the Ricochet Cannon is currently being tanked by the Giant there, and I just checked there for any Troll Tesla because I was very scared. I saw that Troll Tesla before, but I did grab it with a super buff. So yeah, as you can see, first attack of the day is a triple, but it's very close. Only the RC and the Queen alive, and you guys are going to see a very common theme today of these double rage styles of bases. So let's get into the next hit. As you can see, another dub. This is where my thought process is coming in, that in the current base meta, Root Riders with the Rage Gem are really trying to be baited by every single player because pretty much everyone, including me, is using double rage bases. Now, what is the strength of Fireball? Basically giant amounts of Fireball damage. And what kind of base meta do we have right now? Bases where there's a bunch of Fireball damage. So doing 1,300 damage, that is going to be really significant to your RC charges, which is why I really do fear for this strategy in the future. Right now, I'm still thinking it's okay. But again, this base meta is so brutal against double rage Root Rider because there's so many rage bases, which I feel like is so easy for Fireball, right? You just Fireball a giant rage tower and you're good, you just, that's obviously not the end of the story, but you get that Fireball value instantly just because the base meta is as it is right now. Anyways, I'm moving through the base here. Nothing complicated going on. You guys will probably see me hit this base maybe a million times because I have attacked this base a million times and it's just so boring as well. That's the thing. I really do want a new kind of base meta to really spice up our attacks. But right now, it's just double rage bases. So again, second overgrowth, limiting the damage of the rage tower, getting that Fire Spitter so that it's not going to be hitting me later into the attack. Now, although I'm looking pretty good here, we still have a lot of the base left. We have that giant rage tower on the other side. We're going to have no overgrowth spell which is going to allow me to really keep everything safe. And we can't really limit the damage of it. So we're going to have to go into this Rage Tower with its full effect. Now you can see I kind of misplaced the Invis spell there and just leave the Warden out of the Invis. I don't know why he just continues to stand out of the Invis. Then he runs right into the Ricochet Cannon. I managed barely to save him with an Invis spell. And then he goes down, I believe, to the splash damage of the Scatter Shot. Now again, it looked like this base was crushed, right? Well, again, these Rage Towers are so annoying against Rage Gem Root Riders. And you can see everything really does start to fizzle out as we get into the back end of this base. So I'm really not sure, but I feel like, you know, when everyone really switches to Fireball, because the double Rage base meta, the base meta is going to switch again. It's going to be against Fireball. So is it worth it? Just, you know, play it out with the Root Riders and the Rage Gem, or should you be switching to Fireball? I don't have the answers. Anyways, next base we find is Elevate Pato. As I said, we are really high in trophies right now, so there are not a lot of very forgiving bases, shall we say. And as you can see, this is another base. Again, double Rage base. This base will be hard for Fireball because you can't really get down the CC very easily. And that is, of course, a very big factor with that army. But again, it's another double Rage base. I mean, it's ridiculous how many double Rage bases there are. And you will see later into the attack, I really do struggle. Oh, sorry, later into the video, I really do struggle on some of the bases that I'm coming up against. Whereas if I was using Fireball, maybe it would have been significantly easier. I don't know. I don't really use Fireball. I have a really exciting video for you guys tomorrow, though. A nice little collab. Clan War League should lighten up the mood a little bit because I think things are going to be quite rough for Root Rider players, I think. Because, yeah, I mean, as I said, Spring Traps not fully upgraded yet. And, anyways, going into the Rage Tower here. And I'm going to go for the same approach that I always do with an Overgrowth onto that middle section. Now, in this case, it does not really help my pathing. You can kind of see I have a bit of a 50-50 path. Some routes are going to go down to the Minion Prince. Some are going to go up to Town Hall. But I think the Queen, yeah, manages to push all of the Root Riders to the Town Hall. So you see now the Heroes and the Root Riders are really getting separated. Now, this is something you don't want to do. But I felt that it wasn't really avoidable on this base. Then I just Overgrowth the entire Rage Tower. Pop King ability, pop Queen ability. Now, one thing that I've been trying to do is just not save a single hero ability. The second there's decent value, and even if there's not decent value, just pop that Queen ability, get those mirrors working. And secondly, the King. I'm not using the King ability for cleanup anymore. I'm using it to do damage, right? I'm actually trying to get the King ability to go somewhere useful. Does that make sense? So again, this Rage Tower, it looks kind of crushed. You know, we've got loads of stuff alive. RC just stands right in front of that Fire Spitter. Ricochet Cannon locks onto her. Warden's over there punching that, and luckily the Inferno Tower goes down, but there we go. The freeze wears off. Fire Spitter literally melts the Warden like he's some kind of chocolate or something in a microwave. I don't even know, but you can see it gets really close here. Now, luckily, the Rage Tower does wear off, and that is when my Giant engages with this area. So he does a really good job here. And you can see King and Queen are slowly catching up, which is nice. Again, I think Wolves maybe have additional health. I actually don't know what the modifiers are exactly. But regardless, you can see 30 seconds. We have plenty of time. And then my worry was the Ricochet Cannon might splash on my Queen, kill my Queen. Giant dies. King was going to go around the wall. But you can see it is a 3-star. But again, really close on Pato's base here. Now let's get into the next attack. We are up against, you guessed it, another double Rage ring base. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. I can't do anything. You know, these bases are so tricky against Root Rider Rage Jam. Now, I'm still able to triple them because I am very experienced with this army, right? I have like 3 months plus of experience with this army in Legends, attacking every day in Clan War League, in Wars, etc. If some of you guys have only picked up this army maybe a month ago, maybe a week ago, maybe a day ago, you are really going to struggle in Legends specifically against these double Rage ring bases. And that's why I really do think that we are headed towards a Fireball meta, because again, Spring Traps right now do about 400 damage, I believe. So when people start upgrading them, one Spring Trap is going to do 1,300 damage. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you guys will see later into the video, I get really heavily baited already without any kind of spring traps being in the way, doing what they're supposed to do. Anyway, so we're going into this base here, and again, I'm limiting the value of this first rage tower, and I get through most of the non-rage damage really easily, but when you hit the rage damage, that is when you really do start to get caught up. Now, things are splitting a little bit. I pop my RC ability, and luckily the box is staying fairly safe, and the RC is in a great spot to grab that town hall for me, although the expo does look on, so I decide to overgrowth that area. Now, this second overgrowth here probably did suck. What I should have done is I should have covered that expo and made sure that the RC didn't. As you can see here, she goes and splits. It's not the end of the world, but I kind of rushed down my skelly spell. That was probably not a great skelly spell, although there wasn't really that much value on this base. Then I freeze that area, and whilst all of those defenses are distracted, I send in my last 2 super barbs. Now the first overgrowth wears off. I pop the king ability, rather scared, I guess, but luckily it does go in. And again, it looks like it's crushed, right? Well, look, everything just died, right? Where did everything just go? I mean, there was like a scatter shot there, a ricochet cannon. They got like 3 hits on my root riders. That's all it takes, man. That's literally all it takes now, with all the traps, enemy heroes doing so much more damage. Now, obviously, Fireball is still really hard, and it's a very skilled attack. Now, I'd like to think the root riders with the rage gem are also very skilled. It is not easy to triple with this base, with this strategy. But as you can see, things are slowly converging on these last couple of buildings. The snakes and the boogies, or whatever they're called, go and grab the clan castle. King's punching wall is actually helpful here. He's going to be able to grab those elixir storages for me. And yeah, as you can see, it is a 3-star, but again, super, super close. Now, this is where things, spoiler alert, pause if you don't, skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. Things start to go downhill from here. I mean, this base here has always given me trouble. I've seen it a million, jillion times. But it's so tricky to find a good spirit walk on this base, because you either have to go into a giant rage tower, in which you're never going to get down a whole rage tower with your RC charge. Then you're not going to have a path with your root riders. And then after that, you're kind of cooked, right? You don't have a path with your root riders. So anyways, I go into this wizard tower here. Now, I kind of wanted her to go into the air defense first, but the wizard tower into the air defense actually works out a little bit better. Now here, I was really, really hoping she would go ahead, take down this fire splitter wizard tower, and turn and go and grab some of that rage tower. But she doesn't in the end, so I don't want to take damage from this Giga Bomb. I decide to recall at this point. Send in a super barb on that top corner there and clear out those trash buildings. Make sure my Valks are going to go forward, although they're just going to get fried now in our current meta. And there you go. You can see the Ice Golem doesn't really get a lot of value at all, apart from freezing up that Queen, which really does suck. I mean, this base is just so well designed. And obviously, it's so well designed because people have been using this base for probably a month now, and it's still being used, which is quite crazy. But as you can see, things aren't looking terrible right now. We are still moving through the base. But yeah, I mean, the king, I sent him in way too early, and you can see the result of that. He dies, and the king ability gets very minimal value. Luckily, it doesn't go out and get all those trash buildings on the outside of the base, but still, it doesn't really get a lot of great value whatsoever. But it does take down the rage tower, which is great for me. That does mean we're not going to be able to deal with this area with the rage damage. And again, look, it looks completely crushed, right? I mean, I've got so much stuff alive. I have an Invis spell, I have a freeze spell. We have all of the healers there. I mean, it's looking smashed, right? There's like, you know, there's just like a crush and mortar left, right? We've got spells. We can deal with it easily, right? Well, things start to deteriorate here when the Warden is just not playing ball with me at all. And unfortunately, with the RC staying alive, it doesn't force the Queen into the base. Now, you can see, look, I mean, it looks crushed, right? We still got tons of stuff alive, right? Well, no. The Crush and Mortar, like, 2 hits your Warden. And as you can see, I mean, the Queen does have healers there, but I think she goes down eventually in a moment. And we have the Giant, but it's not tanking for the Queen. And even if it was in there tanking for the Queen, we have no way to take down that Tesla farm there. On the top side of the base, and you can see the Queen dies with what's that, 3 healers there, plus her her passive ability of self-healing. She dies to an expo, which is crazy, right? I mean, if this was quote-unquote normal mode, that just would never have happened. Anyways, you can see Giant and the Sneezy are still alive, but the Giant is getting distracted because he obviously targets defenses, and Sneezy dies. And as you guys can see, there just isn't enough time. Giant loses rage effect, and I think this one ends at a 95%. So that's my first fail of the new season. And yeah, as I said, this is where things really do start to go downhill. Now, the next base is another base which looks so easy for Fireball. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, all of these bases look super straightforward for Fireball, but I'm not using Fireball. Anyways, there's really not a lot of great Spirit Walk options on this base. I could try and go to take down the mono, but I don't really have like a very straightforward path into the base. I don't want to risk a 1-star because I'm not feeling overly confident on this new Legends League quite yet. And yeah, as you can see, in the space of half a second, a Tesla pops, the Ricochet Cannon gets a hit, the Expo gets a hit, a Spring Trap hit the Fox, and the Fox is like basically already dead. Now remember, I have to save one Invis spell to trigger the Invis tower, and that means I really don't get a lot of value from my RC charge at all. So although I set the path, remember what I say about RC charges, you do need the value as well, or some kind of value, especially in this meta now. You need value even more. And I mean, yeah, we're going into the base here, and it's looking okay at the moment, right? But the Ice Golems get stuck up on the Skelly spell, right? Now, ideally, we want the Ice Golems to be dealt with around about the area that we are in now, before that first Overgrowth wears off, because we want to deal with the Ice Golems outside of any large rage damage, to be quite frank. And as you guys can see, first Overgrowth wears off, that Ice Golem is still alive, and it's a tiny little Ice Golem, right? It doesn't look like it's going to do a whole lot, but I think it freezes all of my healers here in a moment. And unfortunately, the Warden does just run right into the Multi-Inferno. He gets picked off by the scatter shot. And I mean, I don't know if anything really particularly went super wrong in this attack, but it fizzles out really quickly without that Warden being alive. All the healers kind of get picked off by the Town Hall. And as you guys can see, I mean, it's just a fail. I mean, the Queen goes and punches the enemy King, and the King's more interested in the Root Riders over there, and then the Queen really quickly gets melted by all that damage, and the Giant's there, but it doesn't really matter. Now just watch this King's health, right, and watch this Crusher Mortar with the Ricochet Cannon and the Minion Prince. I mean, that is literally 17,000 hit points there, gone in about 5 seconds. Like, it is so incredibly bonkers. So another fail, really terrible fail there, 81%. Now, this next base, I was like, oh, hold on. This guy's really under-leveled. Shouldn't this be dead easy, right? I mean, you can see, I think I clicked on it in a moment. Yeah, level 6 Crushing Water. So, not really that great in terms of his base level. I don't think he even has any superchargers. But just watch, right? Just watch this. This is when I was really starting to tilt. I was like, okay, I got a time fail. Fine, whatever. Then I got stuck up against another Invis base. I'm like, bro, if I had Fireball right now, I'll be going perfect, bro. These bases are so easy for Fireball, you know what I mean? Anyways, we go into this area, and, like, look at the damage that my Fox takes. There was, like, one Giant Bomb there, and my Fox dies. I mean, it's crazy. Now watch this, watch this. This is where I really started to tilt, right? Send in the Roots, send in the Balloons. Firstly, I get hit with a wave of red bombs. Okay, then I trigger the Invis Tower, right? Now watch, watch. Troop launchers in. Launching the stuff in. Obviously, it doesn't quite shoot the balloons in until the first two shoots are out the way. And you can see I kind of look away for 1 second. Where did my healers go? And now look, if I had healers here, I would have been fine. I've got no healers, so I have to pop the Warden ability. Otherwise, all my roots are going to die. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, I just got completely and utterly baited by this guy. And this is why I think it's just so corny, right? Because if I had Fireball, I just wouldn't have been baited like crazy right there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I just, like, it all comes back to that. Like, if I had Fireball, you know, these rage bases, these Invis bases would be pretty straightforward, right? But you can see, Warden doesn't do me any favors here. It kind of just runs into the Town Hall range, and slowly gets picked off by the Town Hall. My main goal here was to secure the 1-star at least, so I did decide to freeze the Town Hall, make sure I was able to get that down here. As you can see, the RC and the Giant do barely get the town hall down, might I add. And you can see, I mean, I just have no way of tripling this base without any healers, right? So, I mean, this was an unfortunate one. It's very rare that you get fully baited like that. I mean, this was one of the worst baits I've ever ran into, but it is what it is, really. It's not the craziest thing that happened during this Legends Day, shall we say. So we do have one more attack left to show you guys. And as you can see, this one fizzles out right about here. And again, I mean, if my healers didn't get fully baited at the start, my RC charge didn't get fully baited, you know, maybe I would have been good here. I mean, maybe I'm dumb for going into that area. I don't know if this is like an Itsu base, so maybe Itsu built it to be like really pants against Root Riders, but you can see King goes down, Frosty does get the storage, and I kind of just wait for the Frosty to get that storage, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to watch this anymore, and I just decide to quit. Now, this base right here, right, dead easy again for Fireball. Just Fireball like the Inferno Tower or the Mono inside of that Invis Tower, and you're good, right? Like, there's barely any damage anywhere. Now, I know that both of these sides of the base are quite heavily baited, but again, I have no other option but to go into this area. So I decide to go for the top side because I feel like the 6 o'clock side is quite synonymous with being fully baited. And yeah, as you can see, I run into 2 Giga Bombs or 2 Giant Bombs maybe. My Fox is dead already. I mean, it's ridiculous how much damage these traps are doing. Now here, I did have to take a risk because I really need that the air sweeper to go down to make sure that my roots do go the right way. Now, luckily, the E-boots do get it down. Now, oh man, just watch this, okay? I'm not going to spoil it, but you'll see, right? So I'm like, okay, King down, right? I'm thinking, okay, we're looking good, right? Okay, let's go for the Invis in a moment, make sure everything's all good. Okay, that Queen. Okay, we're going to walk past the Queen, that's fine. Okay, we'll go with the Skelly spell, Invis. Hold on a minute, wait. Oh, my Warden ability goes. My Warden dies. Dude, you guys go and watch that back one more time, bro. Watch that, okay? The Queen locks... I couldn't even see my Warden, yeah? And the Queen locks onto him. What was I supposed to do? I mean, I had like half a second to react to that. And I got my timer going off. That's awkward. But again, I had like 5 seconds to react to that. And it's completely bonkers. I mean... Oh, and this is where I was really tilting. This was the last hit of the day, and I was like, ugh, for God's sake, are you actually joking? How the heck did that even just happen in front of my eyes? I mean, anyways, you can see, we have 60%. Somehow the Rage Tower got triggered. I don't know what that was. Probably like some... Oh, maybe it was a Skelly spell at the start? I don't know. Crushing War is hitting me, and maybe if I had my Warden ability for even 30 seconds here, right? I wouldn't know how to triple this, but watch. Obviously, we hit this Rage Tower. Now, I think I get quite lucky here, right? The RC does go in and grab the Mono, which means that my Queen is able to effectively stay alive for a little bit longer. We do have the Giant, so you can kind of see a lot of these attacks are coming down to Queen, Giant, and normally the King and a couple of Yetis, right? So, I'm really thinking about maybe making a couple of changes to this army in terms of trying to counter these double rage bases, but I will be out of the video on that. I'm going to do some of my own testing and see how it works, let's say, because things are getting a little bit out of hand with these double rage setups, and I want a way around it. And as you can see right here, I was majorly raging. I was like, how did my Queen, how did my Warden die? Yeah, unfortunately, this attack was far from successful, but there we go. That is all I do have for you guys in today's video. I'm currently at 5,310 trophies. I think I have 4 defenses left, maybe, but I should be getting a nice little gain today, and hopefully we will get a little bit less unlucky with the bases that I'm attacking tomorrow, and I will be making a video on that Legends Day, but tomorrow's video is going to be quite interesting. I hope you guys will enjoy that one. Reminder, patreon.com/acecock to join my base subscription, all the rest of it, and goodbye.